Have you guys heard this? Check this out. So Arcade1Up has like a new lounge in Miami at the Miami Dolphins Stadium. It's called the Hard Rock Stadium.
Really?
You can take a look at this video that you see right here. They have all the variety of Arcade1Up cabinets out there. And this is like, I guess, a free lounge when you're there to go check out. So let's take a look at it. I mean, they have, this big signage that's really tall when you walk in. It's like advertising Arcade1Up. And you can see all their home console, their home arcade products. And then these Pongs, they got cocktails. They got that pinball machine, all the variety of Arcade1Up cabinets to kind of demo and play, including the stools. And when I see the multiple Pac-Mans here from side by side, these are the legacy cabinets, it makes you think of a real arcade. But that's really interesting because this is not, these are home arcade, not like a real arcade. So if I come there like a year from now, visit Miami and go check out this Hard Rock Stadium where the Miami Dolphins play, is this going to be all beat up? Because these are not commercial products. These aren't really made for that commercial environment. But maybe Arcade1Up is going to swap it out, or I don't know. Their newer hardware is a lot better. They have a deck protector, of course, and their buttons are supposedly made to last a long time, even though a lot of us don't like the preference of the buttons and the sticks. Supposedly they will last a long time. So we'll see that. But it makes me think, at CES, they had these really big 16-foot cabinets, like this NBA Jam, which I got to see in person, was just really spectacular. Look at this person walking by. It's just how tall this is. If they do another conference like this, they could probably put together like an NFL Blitz, like a 16-foot version of NFL Blitz. They do it for the conference. And I don't know whatever happened to this NBA Jam. I don't think Arcade1Up owns it anymore. It's somewhere. Maybe they broke it down and it's just gone. But imagine if they put it in this lounge. Maybe the height is tall enough to be able to put it. That would be like this prime piece, and a lot of people would come. That would attract a lot of people. Putting it out there, I'm hoping Arcade1Up watches this video and goes, yeah, Justin, that's a pretty good idea. But let's take a look at this article. There's a lot of talk in here that's really interesting that you may not know about. Arcade1Up was a company called Tastemakers. Their entire company has changed their focus to be mainly Arcade1Up. They used to make Hatchimals, which I think is a still product they make, and then other licensed deal like stuffed animals and things like that. But of course, this company has sold 2 million arcade cabinets. I was thinking about it. The original Pac-Man, the real Pac-Man, sold 400,000 units back in the day. I think Arcade1Up has actually sold more Pac-Mans than the original. Like a big, large percentage of the Arcade1Ups that were sold have been the series of Pac-Mans being released over and over again. What we see in this picture here is the Pac-Man Legacy Edition, which right now is about $450, and it's got 12 games in it. And there's other varieties out there. If you're interested in all the different varieties, make sure you subscribe and like this video so you'll see other videos from me where we talk about these different cabinets and the different varieties of it. I got more content coming about this. But coming back to the article, there's quotes from the CEO, which is Scott Baccarat, and then there's also the new CMO, of Arcade1Up, this guy right here. I'm not going to butcher his name because I'd probably mess it up, but he's someone that we've seen recently in the community when John D kind of took a little break from communicating with some of the YouTubers, but now he's back. But now we see, the CMO is also, he's saying the Miami Dolphins inspire passion and pride, bringing fans together to root for our city every week. So our city, this is something interesting because Arcade1Up has actually moved to the Florida area. They were a company in New York, I believe Manhattan, and now they've actually moved their entire thing. And we learned about that a couple months ago. Scott Baccarat was on the 1UP Weekly, and he was actually in Florida at that time. And we learned that the company has really changed, and they've really grown. They've actually got about 80 plus employees now that work for Arcade1Up. With selling 2 million cabinets, it makes a lot of sense that your company's going to continue to grow. But some of the things I want to talk about, this kind of controversy about this Hard Rock Stadium that a lot of people are saying. I see it in the forums. So Arcade1Up prices have been going up. We're talking like instead of $350 for their for their like lesser expensive cabinets, they're now like $450, and some of the newer ones are going up to like $750. Some of the pinball machines are like $750, and for a while there they were $850. These prices have really, really grown, and the company has claimed, they've said many, many times, the price increases were necessary for a handful of reasons. Their main reason is because of the shortages of chips. The cost of a lot of the hardware has gone, some of them tripled. But a lot of people are wondering, is it actually the price is going up because Arcade1Up needs to fund big marketing events like these? Is this like a multi-million-dollar contract to get their name and product out there, get higher brand recognition? And it may be true. I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. You can comment down below and try to convince me one way or another. I'm going to love to read your comments. And I understand a lot of the things, the frustration that a lot of people have. I mean, I have that frustration too. Someone who recently moved, and I have a house on the market that's it's currently pending, right? This is a house that I used to live in that I'm now selling. And right now, like, man, money is tight. And so I haven't bought any of the new Arcade1Ups recently. And hopefully once I get my financial situation back in place, then I'll buy these cabinets again, but not at these outrageous prices. So I feel the frustration. I really do. When I look at this, here's the thing. I'm not mad or jealous or upset that Arcade1Up is putting together this lounge. I'm not saying like, oh, when I buy the next cabinet, I'm helping to fund this. Like, you could say that, and probably you'll label me as a fanboy. You probably should, since 99.99% of the content that's on this channel is related to Arcade1Up, which, by the way, if you're interested in that topic and you're not subscribed, check down below, hit subscribe, because if you love Arcade1Up, this is definitely a channel that you want to be following. I'll admit that for sure. So, but here's the thing, like, I really want Arcade1Up to come out with like some bigger cabinets. We look at some of the cabinets they have. They have a large growing list of cabinets that we've asked for. We've literally asked for the class of 1981. They threw this together really quick as a reskin, but it's still exciting. And we've heard recently from Arcade1Up that this big controversy of, will that have like the ability to play Pac-Man on it with, the special code that you can put in to allow you to play Pac-Man. And they're actually working on it. They're actually going to Namco and saying, hey, our fans really want this 12-in-1 to have one extra game in it, like Pac-Man. Can we make it happen? Because if you look at the original cabinet, it had 3 games. It had Miss Pac-Man, Galaga, and a secret code to be able to play Pac-Man. I mean, they're working hard for us. And of course, they're charging a lot of money for these cabinets, but at least they're coming out with extra features. And you look at the Street Fighter II Champion Edition, we asked for a larger cabinet, like literally in live streams to Arcade1Up. We kept on saying, like, this is what we want, and they're starting to provide. And a lot of people complained about the previous generation of Turtles, like where the sound and the different features of the cabinet did not meet our expectations. And a lot of those things have been fixed in this cabinet, and this one will play online. So they're continuing to increase it. But you know what's missing in this? We don't have Nintendo. We don't have like a Donkey Kong or a Popeye or a Play Choice. And this is why I'm not upset about this Hard Rock Stadium. I want Arcade1Up to succeed. I want them to be able to get the Nintendo. And a lot of people say it's impossible for them to get to Nintendo. And I don't agree with that. I don't believe it's impossible. There's several different ways for them to be able to get Nintendo. I really believe that. And all of the ways that I can think of, the paths to get Nintendo, includes this increasing their brand recognition to the point where they are just ubiquitous. It's super huge. They have high numbers, and then they can go to Nintendo, basically force Nintendo's hands to work with them, because if they don't, Nintendo is just losing money. Now, real quick, just like 30 seconds, I'll tell you some of my ideas of how they could get Nintendo. It's really simple. So they could get Nintendo because Nintendo does outsource their projects to other companies. Now, a lot of people say Nintendo will never give up their license, but don't think of it that way. I truly think, and I've even talked to John D about it, and he disagrees with me. He's like, no, if we do Nintendo, we're going to do it with a license. I'm like, okay, good luck with that. And then he's also said that if they get Nintendo, he would retire. So he knows, like, if he gets Nintendo, that's it. That's the top of his career. He could never go any further. But I think there's a way for them to get Nintendo, and it is if Nintendo outsources the entire fulfillment of a Nintendo cabinet, a first-party Nintendo cabinet that has the Nintendo logo on it and does not have Arcade1Up's logo on it. And Arcade1Up is just the fulfiller of that cabinet because they've already worked with the manufacturers. They've done all the work. They've done all the legwork. They know how to market it. They know how to get it out there. And they could become a partner in that deal. And maybe it's white labeled. Maybe we would never know that Arcade1Up is actually behind it until we look at the PCB and like all the signatures of like, this is, we'll think that Nintendo ripped them off. We're like, no. And that happens. That happens. I've been a part of projects in the industry where there's partnerships between like even rival companies, and you never knew that these two companies were actually working together on these projects, these big companies. And then, but it's all white labeled. It's all like the primary company gets all the credit and the other company just went along with it because it's just a big paycheck, even if it means their logo is not a part of it. Anyway, thank you so much for watching this quick video or small rant or whatever this is. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.